guess we'll move on to starting college.
Yeah.
We can go on to your start if you want.
So I was lucky enough to see you go through it first. So I was at first wanting to go to play soccer in college, but I saw you kind of go through that, and I didn't want the sport to turn into a job for me. So I decided to not do soccer and just focus on academics. But I was still really scared just from everywhere online. You see engineering is such a hard degree. So I was like, I'm not going to have any social life. I'm not going to be able to do anything I want to do. But I don't know, it was pretty fine, especially going to San Antonio where you were. So I had friends and family there. But it was stressful the first week trying to get used to the college. It's definitely different than high school. I wasn't prepared to see how much everyone studied, and I just wasn't ready. I thought I studied in high school, but not compared to people in college.
What'd you graduate high school with, your GPA? Ours was a, what was it?
5.0 scale?
Yeah, 5.0.
So with I don't know, but we had AP classes and dual credit classes that can get you above a 5. So I had a 5.45 when I graduated, which is it's pretty good. But
for reference, mine was a 4.4. So
5.5. Yeah, I graduated. I think I was 11th in my class.
Oh yeah, wow. How big was your class?
300.
Okay, so yeah, you were pretty smart.
Yeah. But I didn't try that hard. I mean, I tried, but I don't think I developed the study habits that I have now in college. Yeah. I definitely had to learn that.
For sure. Yeah, that was a big thing for me too. Yeah, starting college. Or you want to keep going?
No, you can go.
Pass it off. Yeah, for me it was much different. It was very hard. I started off at UT Dallas. I went there focused mainly on soccer because I chose that because they had a really good soccer team. And when I got there, I realized I had to, it was very expensive living in Dallas, so I had to work as a server full-time as well. So the combination of working as a server and playing soccer was just a lot. By the time I was done with soccer all morning, going to class was just, it was basically nap time. So I didn't really absorb pretty much anything that first semester of college. I mean, that first semester, you're not really doing mechanical engineering classes anyway, right? You're doing like your core classes, stuff that you're not interested in at all. So that definitely didn't help me, and I didn't have the discipline at the time to get myself through that. So I ended up failing pretty hard that first semester. I ended up with like a 1.8 GPA, I think, after the first semester.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was bad. I was on academic probation. And at the end of that first semester, actually, since we were in Dallas, the Toyota facility, the Toyota headquarters in North America, actually moved to Plano, which is right around where I was going to school. And one of my friends had interned there, and at the time, I had no sights on professional experiences or anything like that. I was just still focused on having fun and playing soccer. And he took us on a tour of the headquarters. And I remember like the vastness of it all and seeing how professional it was and how cool it was. I was like, wow, how am I going to get this? Especially my 1.8 GPA. There's no way a big company like this is ever going to offer me anything. So after another spring semester of like pretty much going through it, not doing too well, still because soccer spring season was happening then, and I hadn't developed those habits yet. I realized I really had to pick it up to eventually get something like that, and it was a pretty bad start. But luckily, I was able to see that light at the end of the tunnel if I were to turn it around, and that's what ended up giving me the motivation to do it. But
So
there were still a lot of challenges after that too, though.
So like touring the Toyota facility was like the big moment where you were like, I need to change something if I want to if I want to succeed.
Yeah, that was the big moment
Okay.
for me, pretty much. What about you? It was just always there from the beginning, huh? You were.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I was just, a lot of people tell me that I'm just like built for school. So like I just know how to do well in classes. But honestly, I don't know. I never really like had that moment where like I need to do this. I just kind of always I don't know. had a path set for myself. Of course, I strayed away from that path a few times, but for the most part, I've stayed on it. So I've never really had that big moment where I need to change something. The closest thing I've had to that is like failing a test in college, where I was like, I need to change my study habits if I want to do good in this class and not fail.
Yeah, true. The study habits thing is probably the biggest thing for me. Because, I mean, in high school, you don't really have to study to do well on the tests. You can pretty much retain everything from your lectures. But in college, there's no one there to hold your hand. You can do whatever you want. So if you wanted to go party all the time, you could. If you wanted to study all the time, you could. But unfortunately for me, that's not what I chose to do.
Yeah. I think the biggest difference is just the frequency of tests. So like college, it's like fewer tests, so there's a lot more material. And I think especially in my first semester, we had chemistry together, Gen Chem 1. And that was kind of like, we learned the information, we did the homework, but he asked the questions on the test a completely different way we haven't seen it. So you had to know the material to know it. So I think that was the biggest transition. From high school, I could memorize 3 weeks of material and then take the test and do it over and over again. But college was like, there was too much, you couldn't memorize it. You're going to do bad on the test if you memorize. So you actually had to learn it. And that was probably the biggest thing for me, was learning to slow down. For me, what helped the most was doing the homeworks. Like I used to kind of just, chegg.
Oh man, chegg. Chegg will be your biggest downfall. If you rely on that, you will be. Yeah,
it's over.
Yeah, it's over for you
so
later.
I used to just copy the homework and be like, okay, I'll go back to it and learn it later before the test. But that didn't work here. So I really had to learn how to slow down on the homeworks and learn what I was doing as I was doing it, because there wasn't any time to go back and learn it, because you're going to be learning more and more stuff every single class.
Did you ever find yourself getting discouraged when you go over something and you wouldn't get it the first time? Because I know that's a big thing for me. If I look at something and I read a passage in the textbook and I go through it and I still can't do the problem that it's describing, it's very discouraging for me. And I just want to end right there, but that's something you have to get over really quickly.
Yeah, because unless you're naturally gifted at a subject, that's going to be every class you take.
Yeah.
It's like you look at it and you're just like, I have no idea how to do this. And you go to the homework and you also still have no idea how to do it. But it's kind of just doing it over and over and over and over again until your brain's finally like, oh, it clicks. I kind of know how to do it now. It's kind of like one of those things, just repeating the process over and over again.
And you find out really quick if it's for you, if it's not for you. Luckily, those classes at the beginning generally weed out the people who don't really want to be there. But unfortunately, some of us, like me, slip through the cracks and realize, oh, we're stuck here now.
No, but you did it. Like, I started off really well. So for instance, like I've had a 4.0 almost every semester, basically until this recent semester. So I had a really good GPA. So I always had the safety net of being like, my GPA is already pretty good. I don't need to do super good in these classes to maintain a good GPA. You did it backwards to where the easy classes you failed. So you had to make up your GPA with the hard classes, which I could not imagine doing.
Yeah, it was really tough. It was not a way I recommend to do it, but you can do it. Living proof right here.